Alright guys, so as the title suggests, today we are going to be looking at Naruto's very strange pilot chapter. In manga, a pilot chapter is like a one-shot chapter that they release to the public through a magazine, Shonen Jump or whatever, in order to like gauge people's interest on it and like decide whether or not they should do a full series on it. Now, I've actually had my hands on Naruto's pilot chapter right here for quite a while now, since it came in one of the Naruto box sets that I've gotten, and I haven't really seen many people talking about it or many videos on YouTube about it. I figured, why not make a video on Naruto's extremely weird pilot chapter? Now, I say extremely weird, but what I mean is, in regards to the actual Naruto series that we ended up getting, it's very, very different. It's not necessarily weird on its own, but in comparison to what we got, very, very strange. So, let's go through Naruto's pilot chapter and see just how different it was from the series we ended up with. So the chapter opens up in a place very unfamiliar to the Naruto universe called the Sannin region, Mount Oinari. This certainly isn't the Hidden Leaf Village. I did some minor research into this and found out that Oinari is actually the Japanese spirit of foxes, among other things, which makes sense because the nine-tailed fox, right? And the Sannin region is actually a real place in Japan, although I couldn't find that this Oinari mountain was real whatsoever. And yes, just like some of you might be thinking, my first thought led me to the legendary Sannin from the Naruto universe, but as far as I can tell through my minimal research that I did, there is no connection there. Anyways, my point is that this is not a place that ended up in the actual series. Now, the story opens up with Naruto looking pretty much the same as he always has, and he has trapped this kid in a hole because apparently the kid had been saying negative things about Naruto in school. Now, this was a slightly different take on Naruto's character, but at the same time, it was very, very similar. We have Naruto still as a kid that nobody really likes, as we see this kid saying, "See, this is why everyone calls you a monster." But the reason it seemed a little bit different is because instead of lashing out and pulling pranks, Naruto is basically bullying this kid because he was talking shit about him, so he's kind of like revenge bullying this other bully, which seems slightly out of character, but at the same time, the general idea for the character is still the same there. It just seems that he may have taken this prank a little bit too far and actually has become the bully himself in a way. Anyways, we then get like a sneak peek of like the history of this world regarding the nine-tailed fox and stuff, which is actually quite different from what we got in the original Naruto. So what it says is this: in ancient times, there was a fox spirit with 9 tails. Just one swing of those tails could level a mountain or cause a tsunami. 9 warriors gathered together to stop the nine-tailed fox. These 9 warriors risked their lives to seal the fox spirit away forever, but only 1 warrior survived. So this is basically the equivalent of like the story of the nine-tailed fox attack on the Leaf Village, with the 4th Hokage dying and sealing the 9 tails in Naruto. Only instead of the 4th Hokage sealing it in Naruto, we have these 9 warriors. And notice that it says warriors too. The term ninja is not at all mentioned in this pilot chapter whatsoever. So it seems that that might have been a concept that Kishimoto really didn't have in mind yet. So it then cuts to Naruto being lectured by this guy who is very reminiscent to the Sage of Six Paths and also maybe like Hiruzen. And as we also find out, he is the one remaining warrior that survived the 9 tails sealing that I was just talking about. But more importantly, we find out probably one of the biggest differences between this pilot chapter and the actual Naruto series, and that is that Naruto is the 9-tailed fox spirit. It is not sealed inside of him. He is the fox spirit itself. Not even the one that the 9 warriors sealed. He's actually the kid of that one. It says that they took pity on the baby, who appears to be Naruto, and decided to save him and let him live among the humans. And now he's lecturing Naruto on how human and yokai, aka spirits or demons, need to live together in peace. This is immensely different from the story that we ended up getting. Naruto is the son of the 9-tailed fox, who they have sealed away. Now, if this story would have continued, I'd imagine that we probably would have met Naruto's father at some point as maybe like a villain or something, because as we know, he was sealed away by these 9 warriors. And knowing Kishimoto's writing, I'm also willing to bet that not all of those 9 warriors, other than that one, had died. I'm sure that we would have seen a reveal of one of those 9 warriors not being dead, or another one not being dead, and maybe being a villain or something. That just seems like something that Kishimoto would have done. The only thing that really remains the same here is that people don't like Naruto because he is the fox spirit, which allows the story to kind of go in the same way with the same conflicts that Naruto had, just with everyone being scared or fearing him and hating him and stuff like that. So same thing there, but in a different way. Next, we see Naruto escape this lecture by turning into a bat and flying away. That's right. As we see a few times through this chapter, Naruto has no problems doing transformation jutsu of any kind. The only problem is that every time he transforms, the transformation will have a foxtail. But it is interesting that unlike the Naruto that we ended up getting, this Naruto doesn't seem to have many issues doing jutsu, as we know the other Naruto could barely pull off a clone. To use his transformation jutsu, however, he doesn't do any hand signs. There's no hand sign weaving throughout this whole chapter. Instead, what he does is, for some reason, he puts one of those like Naruto Maki on his forehead, you know, like the swirly things that are in ramen. He puts one of those on his forehead and transforms. I have no idea what that's about. Anyways, in an effort to make sure that Naruto doesn't end up like his father, this guy sends Naruto away to find a human friend who he can trust and bring back to the Sannin region or whatever. So this is sort of like a type of training for Naruto. He has to befriend a human. And then that kind of leads to the whole thing with trust, which is like the main theme of this entire one-shot pilot chapter, is trust. And so Naruto ends up going to a city. Now, when I say city, I mean a city, a fully modern city, cars and everything. And Naruto's main form of transportation is actually a motorbike. So it appears that Kishimoto had originally planned to have sort of like a mixture between old architecture and stuff and modern times, and have them be sort of connected in a way very similar to the way that Bleach is, with the spirit world being old and stuff, but then they go back into the normal human world. This felt a lot like that, which is the next huge difference from the real Naruto series. So in this city, Naruto does go to a ramen shop called Ichiraku Ramen, and the ramen shop owner is pretty much the same guy as it is in the actual series, so it's nice that that actually fully made it through into the Leaf Village from this city. So basically the way the story unfolds is that this drunk guy comes into the ramen shop, he passes out, and Naruto offers to take this guy home in return for his meal being free. So with directions from the ramen shop owner, Naruto takes this guy home, where he finds out that he is actually an artist who is trying to repair this painting worth billions, I'm assuming, of yen, who was made by the artist's best friend, another artist who is now dead. Naruto then meets his assistant Takashi and a police officer who is guarding the apartment or the studio or whatever while he repairs the billions of yen worth painting. So Naruto ends up hanging out at their house for a while and actually ends up drinking. That's right, Naruto, drunk Naruto. And then after a bit of underage drinking, Naruto shows them a trick, and this trick is the sexy jutsu. So apparently this has always been something that Kishimoto had in mind for Naruto. And yes, it does have a foxtail. I mean, I'm not a furry or anything, but goddamn, all right? So basically, the rest of the story goes like this. Bear with me. Naruto stays up talking to Takashi, who ends up becoming Naruto's first friend. Naruto goes to sleep, and in the morning he wakes up to find that he has been arrested for the murder of Takashi, who was shot that night before the painting was stolen. Yes, I said shot. There are guns in this version of Naruto, which I think is a huge point here. Imagine how much guns would change the Naruto universe. I know that they're ninja and everything, but I mean, come on. Guns, there are only a handful of ninja in Naruto who would be dodging bullets. The rest would be pretty screwed. And don't even get me started on ninjas using guns. That would just be too insane. Imagine imagine Madara with like an AK-47, okay? Everybody's dead. Anyways, for some reason that doesn't make sense. The artist, Kuroda, decides that he will take Naruto's place as like the person being arrested, so that Naruto can go out and find the real killer. And for some reason, the police officer just allowed this because apparently this universe has different laws than our own. But anyways, the important thing is here that this Kuroda guy decided to trust Naruto. and he has a hard time trusting people, as it states earlier in the chapter. And as we know, Naruto has a problem with people not trusting him. So in the end, Naruto ends up finding the killer's accomplice. He tries to kill Naruto, but then it cuts to the accomplice being at the murderer's house, except we find out that the accomplice is actually Naruto using a transformation, and he tricked the other guy into telling him everything. It's at this point where Naruto does a different ability that we've never seen, which he called Yoko no Jutsu, the Art of the Fox. He turns into this nine-tailed fox thing, very different looking from the actual nine-tailed fox, and he wraps this guy up in his tails to beat him. It also appears that in this version of Naruto, jutsu are done by using a scroll or some other item like the Naruto Maki instead of weaving hand signs. Like I said, no hand signs are weaved throughout this whole chapter, which I thought was interesting because it would be kind of cool to have an anime where people fight by using different scrolls. I mean, they are using a lot of scrolls in Naruto anyways, but if that was like their main form of fighting, these scrolls that they carry with them, sounds pretty cool. Anyways, in the end, Naruto finds a human that trusted him, and Kuroto, the guy who wasn't very trusting, found someone in Naruto who he can trust, which was the main point of the chapter, trust. Obviously, for the sake of time, I skipped over the less important things, so I really recommend reading this chapter, this pilot chapter yourself, because it's actually very interesting to see just how different Naruto could have been. Guns, motorbikes, modern civilization, Naruto is the fox spirit himself, different ways of performing jutsu. It has a lot of elements that are similar to Naruto as far as Naruto's character goes, but it also has a lot of stuff that is just very different that would have ended up making the Naruto universe something else entirely. I would actually be quite interested to see this story play out in a full series. Obviously, that's not something we're ever gonna get, but it did set up some interesting things in this chapter. Anyways, that's it. I thought that today it might be interesting to just take a look at this weird alternate version of Naruto and just kind of wonder what it could have been. Let me know what you guys think of the Naruto pilot chapter, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you thought was interesting, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.